Fear is a terrible thing. It forces you into bad decisions. It robs you of your happiness and your motivation. And it plain doesn't feel good to walk around with all the time. So why are you still holding on to it? Today I'm going to show you how to let go of fear and choose courageousness so you can start creating better things in your life. Coming up. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel safe and secure in your life right now, regardless of what's going on in the world? No matter what happens, do you feel that you're protected, that you're secure no matter what? Or does it feel like your life is on shaky ground and at any moment the rug could be pulled out from underneath you and your whole life could be turned upside down? Do you feel like your safety depends on influences out there in the world, that things could happen out there that affects you and you're powerless to do something about it? Now, notice if you have a feeling of fear that is plaguing you in your life versus feeling absolutely confident, safe, and secure at all times. And really, who does that belong to, that feeling? That feeling of fear or that feeling of security, of confidence? It's really up to you, isn't it? It's not up to the world. Because the whole world could be at war, yet you could feel courageous. Or the whole world could be great, just totally perfect, and yet you could still be worried, concerned, afraid. It's up to you. It's your responsibility to determine how you feel. And if you felt courageous and confident all the time, if you had no fear, what could you do with ease? Would you feel confident to really reach out and go for your big goals in life versus playing small, procrastinating, holding back, and blaming others for why you're not successful, or trying to figure out why you're not successful? All the while, you're holding on to a feeling of fear, a feeling of insecurity. And who's that up to? Take a look to how unsafe, how much fear you're holding on to, and how long you've been holding on to this fear. And if this is a feeling that you're holding on to, isn't it smart to shift it? Wouldn't it be smarter to be more courageous, to let go of the fear so you just naturally feel confident and positive about your life and everything that you're doing? Isn't that the smart way to go? And this fear that you have, it's just a feeling. And it really has nothing to do with what's going on in the world. It has everything to do with your decision. So if you can make a decision and drop all of your fear, would it be worth it to you to do that? And would you be willing to do it? Or would you rather hold on to the fear and continue living like this? Seriously. So really, this is an opportunity here to take responsibility. Look at the fear that's going on in your life. Take ownership over it. Recognize it's just a feeling. And let it go. And notice what happens to you once you drop that fear. How confident you are, how clear you are, and how much more effective in life you are to get things done positively. Now let's jump into this and let's work together now. I'm going to guide you into just a deep dive into bringing up the fear, letting it go, rising up, and being courageous and confident in life. You ready? All right. So just turn off any distractions around you right now. Get nice and quiet. Close your eyes. And just take a moment and focus on your breath. Just watch your breath. Just watch yourself breathing in and notice the sensations as you breathe in, how your body feels, how the air feels as it moves past your lips, fills up your lungs. And then feel the sensation of breathing out. And just watch yourself. Breathe in and breathe out. And in and out. And in and out. And notice, as you're watching your breath now, your mind is getting quieter because you're putting your focus on now. So pay attention to now. 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 And now. And surrender to now. Now. And as your mind gets quieter, you say all those stories that stirs up the feeling of fear. They aren't so real anymore. They just are gone. And that shows you how real they are. What's really real here is the quiet, is now. And now you can look at this feeling of fear without the stories being so predominant, feeding that fear. You see the fear itself, it's just a feeling in the now, in this moment, without any story about it. It's just a sensation, a phenomena. And notice, you haven't liked that feeling of fear. And when that fear comes up, you see it's disturbing, and you want to push it back down. Like, I don't want to deal with you right now. Get out of here. I don't like how you feel. And when you push down that fear, in other words, when you say no to that fear, it doesn't make that fear go away, does it? And the more you push down on that fear, the more you collect the fear. And that fear gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And you're doing it. And is that smart? Now get in touch with your fear. Think about something that bothers you. Think about something that you wouldn't want to have happen to you. Some sort of freedom, maybe, that's taken away from you. And you feel that feeling of fear? And notice there is that reaction to just want to say no to it. Get it out of here. I don't like that. But if you do that, you just push it back down into your subconscious and you keep it. But let's do the opposite, since that doesn't work. Instead of saying no to that fear now, welcome it up. Allow that fear to arise. Say yes to it. And let's just quantify the fear. Let's put a number on it. This helps take the mystery out of the whole thing. Just rate that fear on a scale of 0 to 10 right now. 10 being the most fearful, 0 being the least fearful, like 0 fear. Just measure where you're at when you think about that thing that you wouldn't want to have happen to you. Now, as you notice that, and as you quantify that, you put a number on it, 6, 8, whatever. That's a feeling. Now, you can see how when you get wrapped up in that feeling, it's just a feeling, that it triggers your thinking. It gets you to focus on the thing that you don't want. And the more you have the feeling, you actually pull that thing right at you. Don't you? So holding on to that fear really isn't smart at all, because you're really going to create the thing that you don't want to have happen. All right? So we can agree letting go of the fear is the smart thing to do. Now, can you just say yes to that fear? Just look right at it, whatever that number is, a 6, 8, 10. Could you just look at it and say yes to it? And could you say yes to that fear a little bit more? Just look at it, say yes to it. And could you say yes to it even more? And could you say yes to it even more? And could you say yes to it even more? And could you say yes to it even more? And even more. And even more. All right? Now measure yourself again. See if you moved. See if you went from a 10 to an 8, or 10 to a 4, or even just 10 to a 9.8. It's just a little bit. Just notice if you moved. And notice if you feel a little bit lighter just by saying yes to that fear. You notice that? And that's showing you that you can let that fear go. You don't have to keep continuing this cycle of collecting more and more and more fear until you're ultimately crushed. That you can start now turning the tables, letting go of the fear. And with that lighter feeling comes the confidence and the courage that would really be beneficial to have in your life. To just have that confidence naturally. That's what shows up when you let this fear go. So let's keep letting it go. Now take a look to see where you're at now with fear. What number are you at on a scale of 0 to 10? And wherever you're at, just look right at that fear. It's just a feeling. Look at it. And now this time, say, fear, I love you. I love you. I love you, fear. I really, really love you. I love you. I love you. It's just a feeling. I'm giving up all my hate. I'm giving up fighting with you. Instead, I allow you to be here. I love you just as you are. And I love you if you leave, and I love you if you stay. I love you unconditionally. I love you, fear. Now measure yourself again. See if you moved. See if that fear dropped even more. Now this proves you are in charge. And this proves what happens when you decide to get positive. And look how simple it is. You start by saying yes. And you even look at that feeling and you say, I love you to it. And when you do that, notice what happens. You're coming up. You're getting bigger than that fear. And you're deciding to be positive and loving. And that doesn't weaken you. It makes you stronger. Notice that. Now, that fear that's dropping is also showing you that you're letting that fear go. And every bit of fear that you're letting go like this is gone permanently. And if you just kept doing this, you can let go of all of your fear. I'm going to show you even more now. All right? So, see where you are now. Measure yourself again on a scale of 0 to 10. And maybe now you're at a 7, a 5, maybe you're at a 2 or a 1. But see now, you got a little bit of momentum going. You got some of the energy flowing. Now let's capitalize on this. Instead of pushing down on the rest of your fear, and there's a lot of stuff that you've been suppressing, that you've been afraid of. Even stuff that you've been suppressing since you were a child, right? There's been things that you've been afraid of ever since you're a child, going on into your adult life, and it's still ruling you. Welcome that fear up. Instead of pushing down on it, just invite it up. And right now, remember, we started off just focusing on now. Right now, chances are there isn't a problem. There's no immediate danger. You're just sitting here watching a video. That fear that you've been carrying even since you were a child, it's just a feeling. And it's your feeling. You're the owner. And you can take responsibility and drop this feeling. All right? So allow it to arise. And just open up. Open up an imaginary door right in front of you and feel that fear going right on out the door. Just imagine that fear just going out and watch it leave even more. And 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 welcome up some more. Now go pushing down some more. See, we're kind of like now bringing up layers and layers of it. You see, you can invite up some more fear. Just allow it to arise. Welcome it up. Say yes to it. And look at it and say, I love you, fear. I allow you to come up. Come on up. And just open up a big imaginary door right in front of you. And allow that energy. And that feeling, it's just energy, right? It doesn't have any physical tangibility to it. It's just a feeling, it's just energy. Imagine that energy moving right on out the door. And even more. And even more. And even more. Now notice how you feel. Do you feel lighter? And measure yourself again. See where you are at. See if you moved on that scale of 0 to 10. See, that's a good way to just quantify what's going on and objectively see you can move. And that lighter feeling, that is your inner confidence that has always been there, just covered up by the feeling of fear. And see, what's wonderful about seeing this is seeing that you don't need to program yourself to be positive. You don't need to put in affirmations. You don't need to think positive. You are positive, naturally inside. And see, this is the best kind of confidence to have that's not dependent on anything, any situation that's existing in your life. You know, I'm confident and I'm positive because I have a bunch of money in the bank or because I have a bunch of people around me that support me. That's why I feel confident. You see, if that's what gives you confidence, then that's what you're giving your power to. Because all that has to happen is that money gets taken away or those people go away. Then what are you left with? But right now, what you've been doing and this lighter feeling that you're tapping into doesn't depend on anything, right? This lighter feeling, where's it coming from? Where do you feel it? It's right inside of you, isn't it? It's inherent to your very own nature. And nothing out there can give it to you, and nothing out there can take it away from you. And this is now what you realize more and more the more you let go of fear. And isn't it more clear now that that fear is just a feeling? That's it. Doesn't mean anything. See, we started by quieting the mind and setting that story aside. And if you take a look at that story now that you let some fear go, that situation that you're bothered by, see if you're as bothered by it as you were a few moments ago. It's not as true, is it? And this shows you that when you let go of the feeling that you are responsible for, you change how you see the world. Now again, let me ask you, what could you do with ease if you let go of all of your fear? What would your life look like if you were confident all the time? And you just had a natural, inherent feeling of safety and security. Could anybody take that away from you? And again, wouldn't it be worth it to put yourself in this position? And what you've done already here is proven to yourself you can do that by letting go of that fear. So let's let some more fear go, since we're obviously moving in the right direction. All right? Now think about something that is a real risk for you in your life, either financially, for your family, for your health. Something that could happen that could create a situation that you wouldn't want to have happen. And notice how, when you think about that, it stirs up a desire. I got to avoid that. It's really a desire to be safe, right? And we all have a desire to be safe. And when we're running by our desire for safety, that gets us to do all sorts of things that may or may not be constructive. We try to control things around us, get things just perfect so we can feel safe. See, we're trying to control externally our world so that we feel safe. But again, we're giving our power away. And the more that we try to control things out there, it doesn't work. We inevitably just end up feeling out of control. And when we're wanting safety, that's a feeling of not having safety. That want really equates to a feeling of lack. And that want is a big problem. We're doing it. You see, when we want something, to want something means we feel that we lack it. And we feel insecure, deprived. We don't have. We feel limited. We feel small. And we feel like, if we could just change something out there, then we would feel safe. But it doesn't work that way. You even look at those people that have everything. They have riches, they have fame, they have the big mansion with the big wall and gates and security, and they still don't feel safe, do they? They have to hire guards to stand around them all the time. They don't go outside, don't go in public. So, there's only one answer now, is to drop that want for it. You see, if wanting safety and that want stirs up a feeling of lack, then maybe the opposite is true. If we dropped that want to be safe, maybe we would experience having safety. Maybe wanting and having are opposite entities. And if we let go of wanting, we just move into having. Now, all the great ones that have come around have pointed out this fundamental truth about wants and desires. Buddha talked about it, Christ talked about it, Eckhart Tolle, Yogananda, Ramana Maharshi. All of these great ones that we look up to, that speak truth, all talk in some way about letting go of desire. And this desire applies to feeling safe. If you want to feel safe, you got to let go of the want for it. Let me guide you now into dropping that want. So that safety just comes naturally. It's a choice. It really is a choice. Take a look at something that you want to be safe about, whether it's your health, your finances, or whatever. You want safety and security. Now that's a decision. It's a choice. And you can make a decision now. I either want to continue holding on to that, or I'm going to let go of wanting safety. Now try this out. Could you let go of wanting safety? Could you? And it's just a decision, yes or no. And could you let go of wanting safety even more? And could you let go of wanting safety even more? And could you let go of wanting safety even more? Yes or no? Now, here's the thing. If you ask your mind if this is a good idea to do this, what is your mind going to tell you? Hell no. You want to keep wanting safety. That's what your mind says. It says that if you let go of wanting safety, you're not going to have it. Right? If you ask your intellect, your thinking mind, that little voice that talks to you, that's where it's coming from. But the thing is that that's a total lie. You see, your proof is your whole life's experience. You've been wanting safety your whole life. and not feeling that you've been getting it, right? Only by trying to manipulate things in the world, which still doesn't keep you safe. The proof is you got a whole lot of fear, right? So if wanting safety really protected you, you would feel safe. But that isn't true. So wanting safety is a total lie, and it's something that's actually getting in the way of you being safe. So could you let go of wanting safety? And could you let go of wanting safety a little bit more? And could you let go of wanting safety even more? And could you let go of wanting safety even more? And could you let go of wanting safety even more? And even more. Now let me ask you this. Does it feel better to want safety? Or does it feel better to have safety? And notice, you can't do both at the same time. You either want or you have. And which do you prefer? So, could you let go of wanting safety so you could have safety? And could you let go of wanting safety even more? And could you let go of wanting safety even more? And could you let go of wanting safety even more? And could you let go of wanting safety even more? And even more. And even more. And even more. Now notice how you feel. Do you feel more safe than you did a few moments ago? Now that proves that when you let go of wanting safety, you have safety. That they are exact opposites. And it's like flipping a light switch. That light switch is either off or on. And when we're into wanting, it's like off. When you let go of the wanting, it just moves into the opposite position, which is on, which is having. How about that? And by doing this, experientially, we can unlock the science of the mind, of thinking, and how we view the world and create our reality. And ultimately, it's about taking responsibility for what you are doing in your own consciousness. Take responsibility for your life. So, going back to this issue of fear, isn't it smart to take responsibility, to let go of all of your fear? See, again, imagine if you had no fear, how would that feel? What could you do with your life? And would you be willing to take responsibility, step up, pull up all of your fear so you could have this? You could realize your dream of creating a wonderful life for yourself. And isn't it silly to not step up and fulfill this dream when the only thing that's stopping you is just a feeling? Just a feeling. And the choice is always yours. If you go with the choice of holding on to that feeling, you know what road that takes you down. That it gets you to make decisions, to act in certain ways, to react, to create negativity. That fear maintains that negativity in your life. So how about making a commitment to bringing up all the fear and letting it go? Just one yes at a time. All right? Let's bring up some more. Just so we can prove, again, how easy it is. And the more we let go of fear, the stronger and more powerful we become. Now see if you can call up some more fear. And what you can do is ask that fear to come up. Try it out. Just say, fear, come on up. Come on up, fear. Or you could pick some other words. Terror. Horror. Insecurity. Concern. Come on up. What are you concerned about? What are you terrified that could happen to you? And notice that concern, fear, terror, it's a feeling. And here you are in the now moment. There's no real problem going on around you, in the room, right here with you. It's just a feeling. Now, can you welcome up this fear? Now, for the sake of just keeping it objective, place a number on that fear on a scale of 0 to 10. 10 being the most fearful, 0 being the least fearful right now in this moment. And whatever that number is, see, when you put a number on that fear, it kind of automatically makes you bigger than it. Because you see, okay, it's at a 5. It's at a 7. Or even if it's at a 57. It's still a number. And because it's a number, it's limited. And it's in your consciousness. You're bigger than it. Now, whatever that number is, could you say yes to that fear? Just look at it and say yes to it. And could you say yes to it even more? And could you say yes to it even more? And even more. And could you say yes to that fear even more? And even more. And even more. And could you say yes to that fear even more? And even more. Now, notice how you feel. And see where you are on a scale of 0 to 10. And again, you've got some energy flowing. Welcome up some more fear. Let go of holding it down. Just let it come up. And let it go even more. And 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 just let that fear leave. Let it evaporate and dissolve. and more. And even more. And notice how you feel. Now, notice how much more confident you feel. How much lighter you feel. And more positive. And you see, who did that? You did that, right? And if you did that, then that means that you're in charge. And your feeling of confidence and security has nothing to do with what goes on out in the world. It has everything about your decision about how you feel. That's totally up to you. And given the two decisions, whether to have fear or whether to let it go and just be confident, how much more effective would that make you to create a positive influence in your world? And how much easier would it be to do things if you weren't dragged down by fear, holding yourself back or fighting through fear while you're trying to make changes in your life? And it's just a feeling. You see how simple it is? Now, this is just the beginning. But it really is as simple. And you can continue doing exactly this, just pulling up your fear, letting it go, and watching what happens to you. Not only how you feel, but what happens in the world around you. You'll see it really changes your picture. And by your picture changing, the world will change. Check that out. But this is the beginning. Take this step. And soon we'll take the next step. I'll see you soon. So thanks for following along. If you found this helpful, let me know by liking this video and make sure to subscribe. And let me know what you could do with these if you had no fear. Let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you later. Take care.